afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What do we have here? A little move that a little hidden gem of a YouTube channel pointed out for months now. The pattern we are breaking out of at an explosive rate, pointed out by yours truly, StewTube. No, just all jokes aside, guys. This play has played out just absolutely beautifully, and I'm gonna kind of go into a little more detail what's going on here. You can see I've been pointing out this price range, this big white triangle. I've been pointing out since March. My very first video, I believe, is what, well, I think this pattern, when I notice it, is the reason why I got into making videos, because I just really wanted that on my radar and on all my friends' radars and kind of go from there. And here we are. We're finally, today is the day we're breaking out. This is possibly very bullish. Obviously, things are still early to say if this rally has any follow through, but I'll show you some price targets I'm looking at. Right now, I'm looking at this weekly pattern as being a bit of a bull flag, and if I were to take that from kind of where we're breaking out from, I would say our target is around the $15,000, $16,000 range on this move in the fairly near term. Like, I'm thinking within hopefully the next couple of weeks here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see upwards of around 15,000. Of course, guys, none of this has to happen. This is all hypothetical. None of this is trading advice. I'm already in a beautiful trade. I pointed out to you guys why I was looking at things bullishly for many videos now. My last video absolutely nailed this play. I'm going to zoom right into the one-day chart here and show you my average entry right now in the position I'm in is 10,000, I believe is 10,184 is my average entry on this long position, and it's a 30x trade. So the highest I ended up taking profits at was right along the top of this channel here, because I am looking at this as potential resistance. Even though it's one of the reasons I was so bullish, I still want to not rule out any possibilities of rejection. So this is the highest point that I ended up taking profits on this trade. I'm out of most of my position, but I still do have, I think it's like 10 or 15% of my position left on the table with the trailing stop loss at this point, because I do think that we have enough momentum to get us out of this channel. And again, I'm going to point out why I think that. I'm going to make that comparison to the Tesla chart again. But yeah, right now, that the percentage gain that I had from that blue line to there at 30x, the highest I took profit at there was 321%, I believe it was. Obviously, that's not taking out my whole position. That's just one of my laddered out positions. But either way, the trade is absolutely beautiful. If you aren't considering all the different laddering out and stuff, just the clean break, the clean percentage profits would be well over 100% on the entire position. So I cannot complain with that, especially because I am taking it out as being paid in Bitcoin rather than dollars. And you guys know I am very bullish right now. So that's just every percentage gain that Bitcoin goes up, those profits are continuing to basically grow interest right now, as long as this move continues. So anyways, guys, back to this channel. I pointed this out in my last video, actually, that Tesla has a similar channel. It's not as clear, actually. Bitcoin's is even more beautiful, in my opinion. But anyways, the size of this channel from the very bottom to where our breakout point would be, if it's today, would be around that 38, 39%. And same with Tesla chart. If I go from the very bottom here up to where it broke out, we're at 38, 39%. So there's a lot of similarities there. We have our COVID dump, our V-shaped recovery, our channel bouncing around, the exact same percentage on that channel. And then, of course, here we actually set a new macro higher high too. We even broke our horizontal resistance around that 10.5 thousand. So that is absolutely huge. A nice clean daily candle close above it with authority. If I zoom right into the 15-minute, you can see we actually even retested it very shortly after getting it. We had our giant breakout, and then we had a wick that went down and tested it, but we just kind of kept going up from there a little bit, took some profits here, and now I'm waiting to see what happens with the rest of my position. But even zoomed in on the 15-minute chart, I'm seeing a lot of things to be bullish about here. But let's go back to this. If I go to the daily chart on Tesla, what I'd be looking for with Bitcoin right now is I'd be waiting for that breakout above the channel, just like Tesla did. And you can see that it retested that channel with a double bottom as a resist to support flip and took off beautifully. So if we go to Bitcoin, go to the daily chart, what I'm looking for to potentially add to my position again would be if we actually break out from here and get some sort of a double bottom along the top of that channel for a resist to support flip. I think that's where Bitcoin will hit 15,000, if not even higher. If I go out to the weekly, so we have this price target here, the next price target I'd be looking at would be the size of this entire triangle, which is absolutely fucking massive, you guys. I'd be looking at a target of about 28,000, 27, 28,000. That's, of course, that doesn't have to happen, but that's just technical analysis. That's a very basic measured move. You can see how well this triangle is respected. Even the COVID dump respected it fucking perfectly. So everything about this is lining up to me, guys, and I've been ramming this down your guys' throat since March, so hopefully I'm right about it. If not, obviously, be aware of what you're risking. Obviously do your own research and all that sort of stuff, but just because I am leaning this bullish doesn't mean that I'm not willing to change my opinion. If things start to change and look bearishly, we get some double tops or lose an important level of support, bearish divergences, stuff like that, I might consider the trend to be shifting directions. But to me, this looks an awful lot like the start of a new bull market. And actually, one comparison I want to make to that would be the Wall Street cheat sheet. And in my last video, I know I pointed out that I think we were in this situation before our little breakout here, because we have our COVID dump, we have our V-shaped recovery, we consolidate right at horizontal resistance. Oh, sorry about that. That's freehanding ain't so good, but you get my point. Horizontal resistance, we consolidate sideways at it, and then we get above it. And after we got above this channel, you can see we kind of consolidated a little bit. And look, if we go to Tesla, that would be what I would consider this. We got the break of the channel, then our little bit of consolidation, and then took off to the upside again. And you can see that's what happened here. It consolidates, and then it starts taking off again. And one thing I want to point out is the disbelief, the fact that this is seen as a sucker's rally. There's so many content providers out there saying this isn't sustainable and that it's gonna crash real hard, and like this, just even in the comments, you guys, you read a bunch of comments and everyone is saying how this is just a failed rally. Well, here we go, disbelief. This rally will fail just like the others, and that's continuing over from here. So you can see what continues to happen, and that's exactly what Tesla did, you guys, right? Everyone thought it was a bit of a sucker's rally, and then it consolidated above that pattern and it took off again. What's Bitcoin doing? Well, it broke out of an interesting pattern. Now we're seeing if it can do the same flag here. Really, even if it isn't that pattern, we still had this big breakout of that line, which was consolidating very tight, going to be an explosive move. The fact that we set this new macro high, everything's just lining up that I don't think this trend is done moving, and I think absolutely that there's a very good chance we are currently in somewhere in this phase right here is what I'm thinking, guys. Obviously, again, I can't stress this enough. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just pointing out things that I'm seeing in the chart. You guys form your own opinions. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what I'm looking at. If I go to the 15-minute, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback since we are testing the top of that channel. You can see here I drew out these few yellow potential support lines just to kind of watch what happens, maybe get a double or a triple bottom along one of them and decide to add to my position a little bit again or something like that. But even if I do that, I'm in such a good profit right now that I am not opening up myself to any risk. I would just be losing a little bit of profit that hasn't even been taken yet. I have plenty of profits locked in from this trade, guys, so I am not concerned if I do add to my position a little bit. But yeah, obviously there's a few trend lines that I have pointed out, just connecting a few support lines, a couple different angles, a couple different clusters, just to kind of watch things, you guys, to see what happens along them. Maybe they'll serve zero significance, maybe they will make all the difference, a make or break kind of thing, but just kind of got to watch the price action around those levels, and that's kind of what I'm watching for the short term. But again, overall, I think things are quite bullish. You can see this whole area. This is a very important horizontal resistance line. We've touched it many times. I think the fact that we blew past that with a very solid clean breakout, I wouldn't be surprised to see us test back down to the red line at some point. Really, even if we tested all the way back down to this white line and started consolidating along it, that would still be a resist to support flip on that gigantic weekly triangle. So I think there would be nothing wrong with that for the long term as well. I don't necessarily think there's going to be that opportunity to wait for that dip. I think this bull flag that I pointed out to you guys up to the 15, 16,000, I think that has potential to take off sooner than later. But again, we're going to have to wait it out and see. I'm not itching to get into any other trades because I have a beautiful one on the go here. So at this point, it's just nice and relaxed, no pressure, just going to watch what happens and do a trailing stop for here. So anyways, guys, if you could give me a like, give me a subscribe if you haven't, give me a comment, let me know what you're thinking. If you think I'm wrong, explain why. I would love to look at someone else's point of view. It's always good to have a second set of eyes on the charts. And also, if you agree with what I'm seeing, I know it's a little different than what the pros out there are doing. I'm still fairly new at this, but I think I do have some very valuable content here, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn when I say this. I think my last video was way more accurate than any other video that I have watched about this play that was coming up. I think I absolutely nailed it. I hope you guys do too. I hope you guys also nailed it. If you did, please leave me a comment and tell me about it. But other than that, yeah, I'd love for you guys to share the video if you have any connections, any friends who are into this kind of thing, because the more subscribers, the more likes, the more comments, that sort of thing, the more serious I will take this channel and be able to share my insight more often with you guys. So yeah, I don't know, that's just kind of a thought I wanted to end on. With that, guys, I am done rambling, I think, so stay safe out there, have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.